Hello everybody out there in the bookverse, it's Stephanie, and today I'm back with the next video in my video series that I'm talking about, the series that I'm reading, but this one is the 10 series that I am really excited to start. So I would love to be able to start these ones in 2022. That's my goal, is that I will at least have started all 10 of these series in 2022. But they're just ones that are kind of on my radar, top of my list, sound really good, really interesting, and I really want to jump into. So let's go ahead and get started talking about those series. Most of the series on this list, let's be honest, all of the series on this list are fantasy series, and most of them are adult fantasy, but there is one middle grade series that made this list, and that is Alcottaz and the Evil Librarians by Brandon Sanderson. So I went to Brandon Sanderson's conference that he held for the release of Cytonic, and there was kind of a whole panel talking about Alcottaz and the Evil Librarians, and so I picked up the whole series because they're signed, and then the illustrator went in and wrote like cute little sayings, phrases from the books in there as well, and so I'm just really excited to be able to jump into this series. It sounds really cute, it sounds fun, and I would like to have read all of Brandon Sanderson's released works. This one isn't as high up on my list as the Cosmere because they do all go together, but I still think it'd be fun. I do like a good middle grade series here and there, so it's nice to kind of have them, and plus they're really short and easy to read. For readathons or those types of things, this would be a nice one to throw in. Plus I've heard they're really funny and entertaining, so I would like to start the series. Next book, I've already mentioned the first book in the series, but I really want to try to read the entire series very quickly. I would like to binge it back to back, and that is the Infernal Devices by Cassandra Clare, the first one being Clockwork Angel. And I tried reading her Shadowhunters series that came before the City of Bones series, and I just did not like it at all. So this one is my next foray into Cassandra Clare's Shadowhunter world. I've heard amazing things about this series. Actually, this seems to be most people's favorite besides like the way later ones. Some people are really liking those as well, but I am excited to jump into this. It is historical fantasy, which I really like, and it is a YA series, which I'm kind of hit or miss right now with my YA. I feel like I'm much more into adult fantasy at this point, but I still like it sometimes. I think it's easy, quick reads, and sometimes you can kind of just get invested and lost in it, and it doesn't take as much effort. So yeah, this one I am really excited to try it out and really excited to start, and I'm hoping to be able to do it sooner rather than later. But yeah, we'll see. This feels like maybe a vacation read when I take a book on vacation to just kind of chill and enjoy it. From here on out, it is all adult fantasy series, which should come as no surprise to you guys if you've been watching my channel for a while. First series that I'm going to talk about is the Lightbringer series by Brent Weeks. The first book in the series is The Black Prism. This was so kindly sent to me by Sophia. Her channel is Sophia's Thoughts. I'll link it down below. And I am really excited to start reading it, but this is a very long series. I think it's 7 books long if I'm not mistaken, and they're all pretty chunky. I think this probably is the shortest of them. They just get bigger, and it's going to be a time commitment, and I would like to have caught up on my Cosmere books or my Wheel of Time books before I jump into this one, ideally, but I do want to buddy read it with Sophia, so I think we'll just kind of figure out a time when both of us are available to read it. The magic system I hear is based on light, and you have to give up something to be able to use it. It's you have to make a sacrifice for it, which I think is very interesting. And I'm reading Warbreaker right now, and so I'm interested to see how this one compares because I think they both use the color spectrum. So yeah, I'm really interested to see if I like this series, and if I do, I have another giant series that I can continue on with. There's a lot of material here for me. Next one is one that is here because of Book Talk, and that is the Zodiac Academy series by Caroline Peckman and Suzanne Valenti. I think that this series sounds really fun, really interesting, and something that I would really love. I do love the magical school setting, and it seems like it's very emotional. A lot of people get super invested in this and the characters in the world, and I want that. I want that in a series. I want to be really invested in a romance because I feel like the ones I've been reading lately, I just haven't been as into the romance aspect of them. So I'm hoping this one does it for me. I've heard it's Harry Potter for adults, and that sounds great. And this is also another big series. I think the 8th book is coming out this year, and they look like they're not too long, but they're pretty long books. This one is just under 500 pages, but I think that like the 5th or the 7th, like going down the lines, they get to over 700 pages long. So really looking forward to it, but I don't know how fast I'm going to get through the series. I would love to just binge read them, but you know what? I have a lot of commitments on my plate, and I don't know if that's going to be possible. The next book I'm going to talk about, I'm actually really embarrassed I haven't read yet, and that is The Mask of Mirrors by M.A. Carrick. I actually bought this book, I think it was release day or the day after, purely on a whim. I went to Barnes & Noble, I saw it there, and it looked absolutely stunning and gorgeous, and so I picked it up, and I was going to read it right away, and then I didn't. And now so many people I know are reading this book, loving this series. They say it's amazing. It has like politics and intrigue, and it has like balls and the like nobility lifestyle and a con artist, and I'm just really excited to check it out. And I wish I would have read it when I first got it, so I could have just like been involved in all these conversations that have happened, because I did get it right at the beginning when it came out, and I just never read it. So I do need to read this. So many of my friends and people that I trust here on BookTube have read it and loved it, and I think that the 3rd one is coming out this year, so I think this would be a perfect year to read the series, and I think it's only going to be a trilogy, so it's going to be completed this year. I'm also a little embarrassed that I haven't read this next book as well, and that is The Ninth Reign by Jen Williams, the series being the Winnowing Flame trilogy, and I worked really hard to be able to get all of these books when they were still very difficult to find. I think it's a lot easier now. This series just sounds so interesting. It sounds like the world and the magic is just fascinating and unique. It sounds like something that I would really enjoy. I don't really know what it's about, in all honesty. I've just heard about how unique it is, how different it is, and I want to experience that. I want to jump in. I want to know what it's like. I want to see if it's for me, because I do have the entire trilogy. So if I like this first one, I can just keep going with it. And if I don't, well, some lucky person's going to find all 3 of them in a charity shop. So this one I feel like isn't as high up on my list as some of the other series I've mentioned, but I definitely would like to get to it soon. Next series is a little bit different, and that is The Lies of Lokomora by Scott Lynch, the Gentleman Bastard series. This series follows these con artists. I hear it has amazing characters and great friendships and found family aspect to it, and that's something that I really love and enjoy in books. I've heard really great things about this book in particular, and I actually have heard someone recently say that you can just read this book as a standalone if you want to, and you don't have to read the rest of the series, which I think would be my approach. The series is not complete, and I don't think we have a timeline of when it is going to be completed. So I think right now I would just read this first book, and if I love it, then I can continue on with the series as I want to. But I really especially want to read this first one. It just sounds so good, and so many people have read it and loved it, and I want to join in. I have FOMO on this series. The next series I'm going to talk about is actually going to be a channel buddy read later in the year, well, a channel read along, and that is the Founders Trilogy by Robert Jackson Bennett. The first book is Foundry Side, and I love the covers to this series. I think they are absolutely stunning. I've heard amazing things about the world and the magic system, and it just sounds kind of like magical coding. We have a thief who gets in a little bit deeper than she should, and I am really excited to start the series. I absolutely loved Robert Jackson Bennett's other series, The Divine Cities, so this is definitely high up on my priorities, but I already have plans to read it. So excited to read this series. I think it's going to be amazing, and it's just been calling to me for a long time, and I've been wanting to read it for a long time, so I'm excited to be able to read along with some of you guys. I'd really love it if you guys would join in with this one. And another series that I'm, again, very embarrassed that I haven't read yet is The City of Brass by S.A. Chakraborty. I have had my eye on this for years. It has been forever since I have wanted to read this series because it sounds like something that is just perfect for me. The setting sounds just atmospherically beautiful. It's set in Cairo. You have gin, you have like a gin city, and it's magical and it's beautiful, and I just want to read it so bad. I've heard that the writing style is amazing and that the romance is in there, but it doesn't take over the plot, and I want to read it so bad, and the covers are stunning. So yeah, this one, I've had some friends on me for a while to read this. I've been saying I want to read it for so long that I think it's a little embarrassing at this point that I haven't. Like, this book should have been read already, and I have no one to blame but myself for the fact that I just have not gotten around to the series, but it's going to happen, and I plan on reading the entire series in 2022. And the 10th and final series on this list is one that's going to come as no surprise to anyone, and that is the Fitz and the Fool trilogy by Robin Hobb. This is the final series in her Realm of the Elderlings that is out so far. I hear she is going to go back to it and write some more books within that world, but so far, this is the end of it, and I feel so accomplished to be finally on the final series, and I'm excited to finish out this world, but I'm also kind of sad because I love it so much. I love Fitz and the Fool, and I am scared. I'm actually scared of what this series is going to do. It's probably going to just destroy me emotionally. I'm prepared to bawl throughout this entire series, but I am so excited to get to it. Plus, I really like these covers. They're the UK covers, and I absolutely love them. I'm so excited to get back with Fitz and the Fool. I want to get into this trilogy so bad. I'm currently reading the Rainwild Chronicles right now and not really loving them, so I need to jump back into this part of the Realm of the Elderlings and love it again. I need this in my life, and it's gonna happen this year. I'm gonna finish out the Realm of the Elderlings in 2022. Oh. So those are 10 series that are my top priority series to start. I know since you've already watched my series that I'm in the middle of, you're probably like, dude, you do not need to start any new series, and you would be right. But I am still really excited to start these series. They've been calling to me. I need to jump into those worlds, some a little bit more than others. But yeah, let me know down in the comments what series you're most excited to start, which one has just been like calling your name and you have to jump into that world. And as always, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. And if you want to see more from me, hit the subscribe button down below and the bell icon so you'll be notified when I post new content. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.